Now, jumping into the next topic here, we had a chance to take a look at ARMS. Last weekend officially kicked off the ARMS Global TestPunch. Now, that was the first weekend. I was in Chicago most of the weekend, so I didn't get to play it much. I played it Friday, and I played a little bit Saturday from the hotel. And again, another great thing with the Switch, I was able to take it with me to the hotel, and me and my son were able to play it for a little bit. So next week, or this weekend right now, actually starting today, it officially begins off week 2 of the Global TestPunch. Now, I'm going to say this. I had more fun with this game than I thought I was going to have, to be honest, 100% honest with you. When it first came out, I was like, man, like I mentioned before, I was like, this game doesn't look very fun at all. It looks very gimmicky. It looks kind of stupid. But after I saw the Nintendo Direct a few weeks back here, where they kind of completely talked about ARMS the whole entire time and gave away more information on the modes, the characters and such, I became a little more hyped for it. But actually getting my hands on it this past weekend, I had so much fun with this game. It's definitely on my radar to pick up. It's like at 95%. It's almost 100%. After this weekend, when I get more chance to play with it this weekend and test it out with the week 2 of the Global TestPunch, I'll definitely have more of an idea whether or not it's going to be a solid pickup for me or not. So I just wanted to go over a couple of stats from last weekend's Global TestPunch. Ninjara was definitely the most popular player by as far as everybody goes, which is kind of surprising because I figured you had Ribbon Girl and Springman, who are like your cover artists. I figured they'd be the most played, but Ninjara was the #1 most popular played character. Min Min was close behind, which we call her the Ramen Girl. She has the ramen noodle arms. She was close in second place there. And Mechanica had the highest win percentage, which is really weird because I did main her a lot in that game. So I played her a lot in that game as well too. So for me, I got lots of wins with her, so I contributed to that win percentage, which I'm 100% happy about. Again though, Ninjara, I did play with him a little bit. He was a lot of fun, so I can see where he would definitely be one of the characters that people kind of gravitate to and want to utilize the most. He's a lot of fun. The tutorial, you start the game off with a tutorial, which is common in like Splatoon and stuff. And I'm glad it's there, but it was very, very basic. It basically showed you how to punch, how you can grab and use your special and everything. There's a lot of different buttons you utilize with this game. It's not just all motion because you're going to use the left, the right, the Z buttons as well too for this. And you can use the Pro Controller because, believe it or not, my Joy-Cons died within the first 30 minutes of the hour-long test punch I got. So I had to bust out my Pro Controller, which I did, and it is. This first time you're probably going to hear me say this. You got to use the motion controls. You can use the Pro Controller, but it's hard. It's not very easy to use, and you get more fun out of the game with the motion controls, with the Joy-Cons. I mean, it worked with the Pro Controller, but it still takes away. This game is a motion controller game. For me, I just feel like you get the most bang out of using the Joy-Cons versus the Pro Controller. Again, that's just my opinion. So I did get a chance to do the tutorial. Like I mentioned, it was very basic. They showed you how to do the very basic moves. I think it could have been a little more in depth as far as telling you and showing you how to utilize more skills. But you kind of learn those as you go. And it's really crazy because I played the first hour on Friday night, and literally within the first hour, within the first 10 minutes, there was hardly anybody on there as far as that was really good and everything too. So for me, I had to kind of gradually get into the game and such. So I think it took a little while for everybody to get into it. Once they did get into it, it was just an all-out crazy fest. There's a mode called volleyball. It was a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it was probably definitely the guts of the game, the meat of the game. But basically what you're going to do with that is it is what it is. It's volleyball. You're going to punch the ball over the net, and the ball goes off in a certain amount of time and blows up in the other person's court. So eventually the whole purpose of the game is not to have it blow up in your court. So it's a lot of fun. There's another one that's going to be released this weekend called Hoops, which is the basketball version of the game. Again, these are little mini games that you can do aside of actually playing the fighting games itself. Like I mentioned, the motion controls work very, very great. I had a lot of fun with them. That's definitely the way to play it. Graphically, the game looks amazing. I was really impressed with the graphics on the Switch. Mario Kart and such look really great on there as well. So I was very, very impressed on how the game looked on the Switch and on the TV and on the handheld mode itself as well too. I didn't play much of the handheld mode We did in the hotel in Chicago for a little bit, but other than that, I mainly spent most of the time playing on the TV mode. The next, like I mentioned, the next Punch Fire is currently going on right now, 7 o'clock p.m. our time here, and that's Central Time. It's going to be all weekend long. Alex, you want to throw up the times again for me, please? That'd be awesome. For the next test, that's for the Test Punch this weekend. So if you haven't had a chance to check this out and you have a Nintendo Switch, definitely pick it up and try it. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. The characters themselves, like I said, they're going to have some new ones over this weekend. I did hear that Twintle is going to be available this weekend as well, too. So you're going to get some new characters to try as well as some new modes for this upcoming weekend's Test Fire, or Punch Fire, sorry. So for me, this is going to be kind of like my decision maker. If the weekend goes good and I have a lot of fun with it like I had last weekend, I think I'm definitely going to be a 100% pick up day one for me when it comes out on June the 16th. So again, that's just my quick review on the week 1 of the Global Test Punch. Again, make sure you check out week 2. Like I said, I think that's going to kind of be like the game breaker for a lot of people. It's going to kind of determine whether or not they're going to pick it up or not. For me, 100% it's going to be. But again, though, it's a fun game. It's a nice little addition to the Switch library. It's going to hold us all over until Splatoon 2 comes out in July, and then when Mario Odyssey comes out in December of this year. So with that being said, that's really all I got. Kind of went over Street Fighter 2 Final Challengers. I went over ARMS. With that in mind, as always, this has been Mike with Chit Chat Gaming, and happy gaming.